Okay, just a quick introduction to execute SQL Task. Typical uses: emptying tables prior to inserting new rows, probably the most common one. Calling stored procedures to set status data or acquire info. Generating short result sets for running admin processes. For example, reading a list of new starters, maybe from an Excel spreadsheet, to create new accounts for each one in turn. And lots of other odd jobs. It's flexible. As I say, it's very flexible. You can use it with very short, simple SQL commands, as well as with more complicated parameter-driven commands, and multiple commands as batches. Or you can use it with calls to stored procedures with input parameters, taking their values from SSIS variables, or calls to stored procedures which set SSIS variables from output parameters in the stored procedure. With the usual rows, columns forms of result sets, as opposed to XML, execute SQL Task and return a single row result set where column values are loaded directly into variables for that one row, or you can use it to return multiple row result sets which are loaded into object variables and then typically parsed into column values later by a for each loop container. XML result sets are also possible, and they're loaded directly into string variables. And of course, pretty any much combination of the above. So, connection type choices. OLADB is generally faster for SQL Server connections in SSIS, more options to speed up inserts when using destination transforms, but that's nothing particularly to do with execute SQL Task. ADO.NET, I've heard rumours it's supposed to be faster for execute SQL Task. Reason being, it supposedly doesn't wait for the target server to validate the syntax, probably only milliseconds in it. Maybe more importantly, parameter mapping is slightly more readable with ADO.NET, but nothing so important as to make it an automatic choice. The videos in the rest of these series mainly use OLADB, sometimes ADO.NET, to look at the differences in the mappings of the parameters. And here's a little table to show those differences in parameter mappings according to connection type. This will all become clearer if you follow the videos in the rest of this series. That's it for the intro, and thanks for watching.